All right, I think that's everyone, so we will get started. Welcome everyone to another presentation from the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center. We are going to be talking about mental health, and this is going to be angled more towards grades 1 through 3. So we'll go through and just briefly introduce the facilitators that are here today. My name is Alicia Fisher. I'm the Prevention Education Supervisor from the Kawartha Sexual Assault Center.
And hello, I'm Lucas Schaefer. I'm a male ally support leader at KSAC.
And Courtney, did you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Courtney, and I am a student actually at Fleming College. And I'm learning here, watching Alicia and Lucas. This is my first class that I'm watching them do, so I'm learning with everyone else too.
Amazing. Okay, let's get started talking about the importance of mental health for grades 1 through 3. Perfect. Okay, so what are we going to be discussing today? Today, we're going to do a brief overview about who we are, what is mental health, how we can connect our minds and bodies, because both are very important, and then how we can calm ourselves and further resources if we're looking to someone to talk to about these things. So who we are at KSAC, we are a center that helps people that have experienced some form of harm in their lives. And so they can come to our center, but right now we are offering support through the phone and through texting and online, like video chat like this. And so people can access our center who just need help with their mental health, help with just going through the day-to-day and becoming resilient and thriving. So we do have an emotional support puppy that is at our center, that is Ludo. And we support everyone at our center, and Lucas runs a very special program for male identified people.
Thanks so much, Alicia. Yeah, so another kind of part of our center is public education, kind of like what we're here doing with you folks today. And a part of that public education is a program at the center called the Mending Program. And that's a program, as Alicia was talking about, aimed towards engaging men in talking about the ways in which people become harmed in our society and ways to be better. And we can do that by learning about those harms, learning about how it affects us internally and also how it affects other people. And then we also learn about how to help people in need and stop that harm from happening. And then at the end of the program, we teach people how to teach the program. We also have an awesome webinar this Friday that's going to be talking about what it means to be a man and how to be a better man and how to have healthy masculinity. So check that out.
Amazing. And so our center is located in Peterborough, and we serve a very large area. So we serve not only Peterborough and the area surrounding that, but also Kawartha Lakes, Halliburton, and Northumberland. And so if there's educators out there that are looking for more local centers in their area, they can head on over to Ontario Coalition of Rape Crisis Centers, and they're on their website, and that is where you can get connected to a variety of centers just like ours. So we are also well connected to a center, it's actually on the same floor of us, that offers more Indigenous support, and it's called Nit Kunadet Anishinaabe Kwewag Service Circle. And so these are supports that have Indigenous healing practice to them. And this center supports not only the individuals who may have experienced harm, who may be experiencing harm, and they support not only those individuals, but their families as well. And so they have some Healthy Babies programs, as well as some youth programs and counseling and support programs. So this is a really great Indigenous resource. So let's get into what we're talking about today. And so mental health is something that impacts a lot of people. Approximately 1 in 5 children and youth in Ontario, our province, has experienced a mental health challenge. And so that's not to say it's a good or a bad challenge. It's just something that people have to work really hard to become better at, to be healthy. And that you're certainly not alone with this. A lot of people who experience these challenges in their mind, about 70% of them had a lot of that start in their child and youth time. So it's really important to recognize why mental health is important. But let's talk about what mental health really is. So maybe Lucas, you can read the definition here.
Thanks so much, Alicia. Yeah, so the definition that we have provided for you folks today is that mental health is the state of your mind, feelings, and emotions, right? Just like how we have bodily health, we also have mind health. And mental health is always there, and it's fine to have good days and bad days, right? That's just like sometimes when we're sick, right? Like sometimes we have a runny nose or have a cough. Sometimes we have a runny nose or a cough in our head. We have rough days and we have good days.
And sometimes too, those rough days or those days where we feel like this bottom person, this bottom emotion here is inside of our head, but then our face looks like this second one here. And so sometimes with people, the inside of their head doesn't match with the outside of their head. And so that really comes down to recognizing and identifying what all these emotions are. So not only the emotions that we show on our face, but the emotions that we have in our head. Because as I said, some days we feel like this bottom row, but our face looks like this top row. So maybe Courtney, you can read the definition here of mental illness, which is a little bit different than mental health.
Yeah, so mental illness is, well, mental health is always there. We always have mental health, and that could be positive or negative. Mental illness affects somebody's ability to function over a long period of time. So mental illness is not the same as just feeling sad or unhappy or stressed. People with mental illness feel distressed regularly and may not feel in control of their lives.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, yeah. So mental illness is more of a long-term sickness, where mental health can be more of a day-to-day recognizing our feelings and emotions. And there are certainly times where we feel sad for a couple days, especially if we have something happen in our life that is not going to make us too happy. But mental illness just really is a deeper level of being sad or stressed in our minds. So why is mental health important? Well, it's important because both our physical health, so how we are with our bodies, can influence our mental health, both positively and negatively. So if you're a teacher right now with your class, maybe if you're viewing the replay of this, you can talk about with your class, how do you think our physical health can positively impact our mental health, our minds, and how can physical health negatively impact our minds? And so it's really important that there's this interplay, if you will, that they're both working together. So if you're not nice to your body, let's just say you decide to not have a good sleep and you decide to stay up all night, maybe you snuck your phone into your room and you're watching videos all night, that's going to impact our brains the next day. We may wake up not feeling super awake. We may feel kind of groggy and tired. And that is a sign of mental health because you're feeling tired, but it's because of your physical health that impacted your mental health, right? And so these are really things that work together. And so sometimes it's not only our physical health impacting our brains, but also sometimes our brains impacting our physical activity, right? So if we're feeling really tired, we may not be able to run as fast as we can in gym class or play every single sport at recess. So our brains impact our physical health and our physical health impact our brains. It can go both ways and it can be both for positive and negative. So what leads to our feelings changing? Well, it can really be a lot of different things, both on the outside of our body and on the inside of our body. So the weather can be something that can impact our feelings. Maybe Lucas, did you want to talk about this, or maybe do you want to talk about another one?
I could talk about this. Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I know that just like reflecting on my own experience, that when I look outside and it's a bright sunny day and I see the sun shining through the leaves, I'm like, wow, this is a great start to my day. This is really making my head happy. And maybe when it's like a kind of dark and gloomy day, I don't have that. I don't have that head happiness that we were talking about before. Yeah, and that could influence, as Alicia was talking about, what I choose to do with my body that day. If it's a bright and sunny day and I'm feeling motivated, I'm feeling happy and ready to run, that might be an opportunity that I take to go outside, right? But if it's not, if it's a gloomy day, that might make me feel less motivated to go outside. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And then another thing that can lead to our changes in our emotions is our friends, right? So our friends can be really awesome sometimes, and then sometimes they can be annoying. Maybe now that we're finally seeing our friends, it feels really good to see our friends. Now, even though we may not be able to hug or to hang out like we usually did, but that connection that we have with our friends can be really important. But sometimes, seeing our friends can make us sad. Maybe they said something that made us sad, right? And so our friends can lead to differences in our emotions as well. Another thing that can impact our emotions is being on our phones, and maybe some stuff that we're seeing on our phones or on TV or in the media. Maybe Courtney, would you like to talk about this, or maybe talk about a different one?
Yeah, no, sure, I can do this one. So on our phones or on TV, in the media, right now things are, a little hectic in the world. So maybe seeing all of that going on, that can maybe change the way that you feel. That can maybe make you sad. But maybe also if you see something happy going on in the world, you see a dog getting a second chance at life, that can make you really happy and that can change your day. But if you see something really sad, that could change your day too, and that could make it hard for you to be happy for the rest of the day.
Great, fantastic. Another thing that can impact our emotions can be changes in our life, big changes, like if we're moving, or maybe we have someone that we know that passes away. These things can really impact our minds, right? Can be a really sad thing. It can also be a really exciting thing. But it can also create a lot of emotions inside of us, because we're not really sure if we're going to like our new school. We may miss our friends at our old school. We may miss the people that we know. And so big life changes can really impact how we feel about things. Lucas, do you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah, just like that, we always want to be comfortable, right? And when we are familiar with something for a long time, when we know what to expect, either from like what a school setting looks like or what home looks like, we become accustomed. We feel safe in those spaces, right? And that kind of known safety can be shifted when we have those big life changes like Alicia was talking about, right?
Mhm.
So knowing that like that can affect our head and also our bodies is good to keep in mind, right? When you're facing these like tough things by going through big changes, just know that like the emotions that you're having are to be expected, right? You're used to different things, and you're not seeing those things. Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely. Yeah. Another thing that can lead to our changes in our emotions and feelings can be on the inside of us, and it could be our brain. So our brains can be really annoying, and our brains can be sad more times than we are happy. And so sometimes we need treatment just like with our physical body, if we get a scrape on our knee or if we break our arm, we need Band-Aids, we need a cast as treatment to help that. And so sometimes with our brains, we will need a certain medicine to help us make us feel better. But the only way we know if we need medicine is if we talk to a medical professional like a nurse or doctors. Another thing that can impact our emotional changes can be our family. So our family, as much as we love them, sometimes families can be a little frustrating, right? Maybe Courtney, do you want to speak to family and our emotional changes?
Yeah, sure. So every family looks different. And, sometimes these people that we're around every single day, especially now that we're, doing more remote learning, we're spending more time in our home, we're spending maybe more time with our families. These people we spend so much time together, we're different. And sometimes the same as with your friends, they can get a little bit annoying. And families, because we're so close, maybe we tend to fight more, or maybe our relationships are looking different. So this can really impact how you feel. These people that you love the most are maybe having an off day, and that makes you feel off that day. There's lots of different sides with family. Every family looks different, as I said. And yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said too about how, even our parents sometimes have to work on their mental health, right? It impacts everyone. Lucas, I see that there's some puppies in this picture. Maybe you can talk about how pets can impact our emotional well-being or our mental health.
Absolutely, Alicia. Thank you. So, wow, just like how people and friends and family can affect us, our pets also can affect how we feel in our heads and also in our bodies, right? I have a wonderful cat, and his name is Frankie. And whenever I'm kind of just going around my house, he can sometimes come up to me and he purrs and meows, and I'm like, wow, you're giving me attention, and this feels really nice. And sometimes he lets me pet him, and that feels really nice too. It feels like I'm having a connection with someone, and that makes me feel, yeah, close with him, right? So that's one way that pets can make us feel good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then sometimes when our pets feel sick, that can make us feel sad. And it's okay to feel sad and worried, right? And then going up to the last one here is our school. School can be really exciting to see our friends and to learn lots of new things, but school can also be really stressful, especially when we have tests. If you're heading into grade 3, you have EQAO. Oh no, what is that? That can make us really worried. It can make us be maybe a little scared, or maybe we're really excited about this challenge, right? So school can also be a really big mixture of how our feelings and everything can be impacted by one another, right? So how do we navigate? How do we deal with our heads and all these emotions and connect that to our body? So there's 3 different ways that we're going to go through here. The first one is about connecting to nature, connecting outside. And the best thing to do when we're outside is to connect to our 5 senses. So our 5 senses are things that we can see, smell, hear, taste, and touch, right? So next time when you're outside, think about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are 5 things that you can see? Maybe you see a tree. Try to identify or try to point out the different colors that you can see on the tree. Maybe what color the bark is. Is it smooth? Is the trunk of the tree smooth? Or is it uneven and barky?
Bumpy, yeah.
Bumpy, not barky, bumpy. So 5 things that you can see, and really try to describe those in detail. What are 4 things that you can touch or 4 things that you feel. So if you're standing outside, maybe you're feeling the ground on your feet, or maybe you're feeling the wind on your face, or maybe the heat from the sun, or maybe it's cold. What are 3 things that you can smell? I'm inside, so I can't really smell much. I think I can smell breakfast, but what are 3 things that you can smell? And then we're down to the 2. Oh yes, here. Thank you, Lucas. I can see you pointing to your ears. What are 2 things that you can hear? I know right now I actually have an airplane going by, and so I'm listening to how close that airplane is versus how far that airplane goes as it's flying by, right? Because when an airplane flies by, it's really quiet, and then gets really loud, and then gets quiet again. And then what is one thing that you can taste? Now, I'm not saying go out and start licking stuff outside, but something that you can taste. So even if you breathe in, maybe you're tasting the crispness of the air, or maybe I don't So the second thing that you can do is practice deep breathing. And so there are things that we can do where we breathe in with our nose and breathe out with our mouth. And you can do that maybe 5 or 10 times, or maybe you can do that for a whole minute. But one thing that you can do that makes it a little bit more fun is to draw a square while you're doing it. And so you can either actually get a pencil and draw it, or you can just draw it in the air with your fingers. But you can breathe in as you draw upwards. You can breathe out as you draw across. And you can breathe in as you draw down. And breathing out as you draw across. So you can do that. You can look at a picture on your wall and you can practice that, or you can look at the window. But breathing can be a really great way to connect our minds and our bodies. And the third way that you can do that is about connecting with other friends. So hanging out with your friends. We find that when we talk about things like resiliency, which is the ability to bounce back from really tough things in our lives, having people that we can count on, whether that's friends or family, can be really important. And so you can think about different ways to connect with your friends or family. So maybe just really having quality time during dinner and just asking your parents about how their day was and wanting to learn more about them. Maybe it's scheduling times to hang out and talk with your friends on the phone or on video. But it's really about that connection and how you can make that connection better with your friends. Lucas or Courtney, do you have anything to add to those?
Courtney, if you don't have anything, I can go, but I'll let you go first.
No, that's all right. Take it out. Yeah.
Awesome, sweet. I've taken this advice from Alicia. Maybe sometimes when I want to connect with my friends, I coordinate a time to look at them on video because I really like seeing their faces if I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Those are great ones. Perfect. So sometimes when our brain is thinking about a million different things, we need to relax. So how can we do that? Now, this is going to look different for every single person. So some people relax through playing sports and being active. Maybe they're skipping outside or going for a run or going for a walk or playing certain sports at recess. That can help people relax. Sometimes relaxing can come from talking to our friends and just having that one-on-one conversation with them. Maybe relaxing is going home and petting your cat or petting your dog with consent. And that can be a really great connection. And sometimes relaxing can be looking up at the clouds and trying to make out pictures that the clouds are making. Lucas, do you have other ways that you relax?
Sometimes I like to sit down and listen to music. Yeah, that really kind of gets me out of my own head when it feels really full and buzzy. I kind of just like listen to music, and then that takes me out of it. I get to listen to that. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Courtney, do you have any ways that you relax?
Yeah, I like to read. I like to read books. And when I'm not feeling like reading, sometimes I write. Sometimes I write about how my day is, how I'm feeling, or sometimes I'll just
Mhm.
make up a story.
I like those. Those are really great ones. And that looks very different for every single person, right? So it's just really important to find out what works for you and your body and your mind. So, who can we talk to if we need someone to talk to? Maybe if our minds aren't feeling too good, who can we talk to? So, we can talk to our teachers about how we're not feeling good. Maybe we can talk to our principal or guidance counselor. So, this is within the school. Those are people that you can talk to. You could talk to your family about how you're feeling, right? Your family can be for some people a really great resource of someone to talk to. But maybe sometimes when the thoughts that we're having in our head are too much, then maybe we can talk to doctors or nurses or medical professionals to see if there's something that they can do to help with our heads. There's also other people that you can talk to outside of your friends or outside of your family and your school and doctors. But there's a thing called Kids Help Phone. And so you can call that number and there'll be someone there to talk to if you want to talk about your mental health and how you're feeling. Maybe sometimes it's a lot and our mental health can take away from our day. There's also a thing called Good to Talk, which is a service of support for youth. If you have Indigenous supports that you need, there's Talk for Healing. So they have talk, chat, and text. And then sometimes we can talk to our friends, right? But our friends can only help us so much. Sometimes we need to, especially if things are quite serious, we need to talk to a trusted adult. So our friends can be a good person to talk to initially, but they may not have all the answers. So what did we learn today? Maybe Courtney, do you want to start off with the first point?
Yeah, so when we first started off, we were talking about what mental health is. And mental health is something that everyone has, everyone deals with. That's what our day looks like if we're happy, if we're sad, and anything in between.
Mhm. Lucas?
And our second point is that we learned that mental health is just as important as physical health, right? Just like how there are ways that we can like keep our bodies healthy, there are also things that we can do to keep our heads healthy.
Mhm. It's okay to have good days and bad days. As much as we really love to have lots of good days, as we saw in things that impact our mental health, is that sometimes we have bad things happen in our life and we don't have any control over that. We can't control whether or not there's going to be a rainy day or a sunny day. So it's okay to have a bad day and it's okay to have a good day. Courtney, do I read the next one?
Yeah, so our mental health is impacted by a lot of things. We took some time going through the list that we had on the screen, but there's far more things than that. Everything, little or big, can impact our mental health.
Amazing. And Lucas?
And our last point that we learned today is that it is important to talk about our feelings, whether we're talking about it with our friends, families, and sometimes when it becomes a lot and maybe it's outside the range of how our friends and families can help us, we speak to mental health professionals, right? Or even like doctors, right? Because they can help us when our minds or our heads and our bodies aren't feeling good.
Mhm. Certainly. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in today. If you are an educator, we do ask that you fill out the survey that was connected in the big schedule email that went out. And so for further supports at our center, we do have text, phone, and online supports. So if you're looking for more support about maybe more intimate or sexual harm that has happened in your life, you can visit our website, kawarthasexualassaultcenter.com, and that is where you get connected to all the different supports that we offer, as well as the different services that we have. Um, And each Quinnipiac Anishinaabe Queewag Service Circle also has youth groups. So those are going to be meeting every Monday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the dates there, and you can contact Shannon. So we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. Thank you, Lucas and Courtney, for joining.
Thank you so much, Alicia. It was wonderful being with you all, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for letting me sit in.
Of course.